Pull up. Hey, this is the pull up show. We still got the key in the door.
Welcome to another Tony and Tony
All Things Podcast. This is our pull up edition. Pull up.
Pull up. Woo! Pull up on me. Pull up on me.
Justice League.
Hey. Hey, what are you doing with that?
Oh, yeah. For the ACC. All right. Welcome to another podcast. This is our pull-up edition, Tony and Tony. On this one, we are going to be going through our rundown of the ACC. One of the reasons why we're doing that, because my favorite team in college football is Miami, and yours is?
Read it and weep, baby, Clemson.
I should have wore my Miami. I think I'll do that next time. So basically, we are going to be going through the ACC and just talking about that. So I guess when we're looking at the rankings, we have Miami they were sitting at number 2, but then they moved down to 3 thanks to Oregon beating Penn State. But let me ask you this about Miami. Do you think Miami still has this trajectory to a national title championship? Do you think they can make it there?
Yeah, I see that they make it there. They get to the ACC. They get a guaranteed spot in. They win that. I see Miami being the team that comes out of the ACC, or I don't want to say it, Georgia Tech, if Georgia Tech can actually continue winning games.
Yes.
And I'm not just saying just winning games, but indefinitely winning.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I'm glad Florida State lost, but I don't know. I'm kind of scared of that game coming up. Because now Florida State could be thinking, okay, well, we lost last week. This could be a perfect chance for us to rise back up by beating Miami. This is almost like a bowl game for them. So yeah. I think they're going to have something extra on this game. So I'm kind of worried about that because, we had the bye last week and everything. So I'm hoping that we're ready for this game coming up against Florida State. But yeah, I think we have a pretty good opportunity. Especially we can get into that ACC championship game. If we get into that, definitely we're already going to be into the playoffs. So that's good. So hopefully this could be leading towards that national title game. But that's a long way from here. I guess now I want to focus in on Clemson. Are they any closer to collapse, or is it a comeback maybe?
Honestly, after looking at Clemson's schedule and how things are going down, they have North Carolina ACC, Boston College ACC, SMU ACC, Duke ACC, Florida State ACC, Louisville ACC, and potentially, if you get these wins, and when I look at Georgia Tech's schedule, I see it as they got Duke coming up. They got Syracuse. They got Virginia Tech. They got Boston College. They got some teams that they need to get past and beat. And just last week, it was a scare for them. They barely got out with Wake Forest. So we're looking at a potential position where a lot of teams are scraping and scrambling for some wins. And if we can perfect and perform, it's going to be hard to say with 2 losses in the ACC that we make it all the way back up to the top. But if some of these teams lose 2, sometimes 3, we have a potential to get back up to the top and be next there. If every team gets 1 loss, even Miami gets 1 loss, that's even a better chance for us to get there because we don't play Miami. And if we do, it would have to be in the ACC championship. So for Clemson this week versus North Carolina versus Bill Belichick and his team, and Gio Lopez as quarterback, I'm not sure if he's still the starter or if he's hurt, but this is going to be a big game.
Yeah. I mean, especially, I mean, here you have North Carolina. I mean, they ended up beating Syracuse last week. So if you guys could get that, and then let's just say, I hope it doesn't happen, but let's just say Florida State beats Miami.
Yeah.
Now you guys are going to be playing against Florida State. If you guys can win that and just pretty much just win out, there's a possible chance, especially if like a Georgia Tech, some of those other teams, get a couple losses. You guys could be right back in there, similar to last year. I mean, this is the ACC. It doesn't really. It's like everyone, like you said, is positioning. If I can get this win, if this person beats this team, so there's a potential chance for you guys. And also, I wanted to ask you. I want to go back to the Miami with them dropping. Do you think that was? What does it say about Miami for them to be number 2, but then Oregon to beat Penn State, and then for them to drop to 3? Does that say something about Miami strength and schedule? Does that say something about what the pollers think, how good Miami is, or what do you think about that?
Honestly, when I look at it and I see just the competition, the way that Penn State and Oregon go into it, the Big Ten is the second strongest force, if not the first strongest force of the SEC. But the SEC, is always going to have the grace and glory of being the best. But the Big Ten is making a very strong case for itself. Now, this Oregon team playing over there and then winning those games, I see it as one of those things. Miami, since they were off that week, it's easy to be like, well, this is a week-to-week basis, a week-to-week status. Miami hasn't played any ACC conference games yet. So, in totality, they could go down, and this next week improve what's going to go happen or what's going to go down for Miami. Now, them being in the position that they are right now, and them being able to have Carson Beck play well, and their offense click, and they get that week off, and Florida State coming off that loss, they have a chance to really dominate Florida, the area, off of just being able to contribute to the fact of the Florida Gators aren't good. The Florida State, they could get them down and get in the ACC and put themselves at a higher standard, and there won't be another drop for Miami, and they will be top 3 for the rest of the year if they continue to win their games, because Miami at the time, they don't seem like, besides this Florida State, that there should be any more real problems for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, when I look at the schedule, I mean, the SMU, I mean, it's tricky. It's kind of like a non-conference, but I mean, we should be able to withstand this. I mean, we got Stanford. I mean, they're a shell of themselves like they used to be. They're not the same Stanford of old. So yeah, I mean, if we are able to win out, we should be in a good position.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said SMU is a non-conference, but I think you mean SMU as a conference game, because that win potentially gets them into a higher standing to make sure that they do make it up to the ACC championship.
That's true.
I do not see Miami losing a game. I don't even see them losing to Florida State. I don't believe that Florida State's going to be able to beat them. I believe that first week of football, when you come in, it is a game changer. That game versus Virginia, that is a conference game which definitely changed and exposed Florida State for who they are. But Miami right now, I mean, Miami is a dominant team playing well. If they can just come through and display good all 4 quarters, not just 3 quarters, even the fourth quarter in the stretch, Miami should not lose another game this year. Miami is playing good football. They're going into places where people have doubts about them, asking if Carson Beck's going to be the same Georgia quarterback that he was last year, and he's proving the doubters wrong.
Yeah, that is true. And I'm hoping that it turns out that way. But right now, I'm still feeling I'm on pins and needles with this game coming up against Florida State. Yeah. I'm hoping that we're able to get past that. But also with that, I want to ask, so who's really buzzing right now in the ACC?
It's got to be Virginia.
Yeah, that's true.
It has to be Virginia. I know Georgia Tech is, of course, for number 1, but like I said, Clemson could lose to Wake Forest and lost to Syracuse. I mean, I said that in week 2. Now, Virginia is a scary, scary situation because if they get hot and they play all these teams and they start coming out, you start wondering, okay, is this team really a dominant force? You are really excited to see the Virginia versus Virginia Tech, because Virginia Tech, even though that they have had that one game they weren't good and they lost, I still think Virginia Tech is a good team. Now,
Yeah.
Duke, I'm not too worried about, even though Illinois put a whooping on them. But Duke still has a chance to be one of those teams that you get past them, they get beat up. Now Clemson's moving back up to the middle of the ACC, and they can move back up into that top 4 spot to where it's like, okay, now we're kind of juggling. Everybody got 2 losses. Clemson could rise back up in the standings if they play well. They're not playing another ranked team for the rest of the year besides Florida State. If Florida State remains ranked after losing to you guys,
Right.
then that comes down into a thing of like, okay, does Clemson really deserve it, or are they moving back up because of everyone's losing? But that's what I'm saying. It's a real favorable position to where if Clemson can be in that ranked 15th, ranked 16, and teams go into the ACC or Big 12 and they're kind of in that 13, 14 rank and they lose, Clemson can jump up into that 12th spot.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, right now you got Florida State at 18. So if Florida State is able to beat Miami at 3, they'll probably move up maybe, 7 to 10 spots or something like that. So, I mean, that can work out in Clemson's favor. But I think the team that's really buzzing, I mean, Georgia Tech. I mean, they're ranked 17th. They're 2-0. And then, like you said, I mean, especially Virginia, with the way they won that game. But like you said, Duke is 2-0. And then you got Louisville up there. I mean, so there's basically like your top 4 right there in the conference. So, and Miami hasn't played a conference game, so this one will be our first one coming up. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think the Georgia Tech and Virginia is probably the teams that are buzzing right now in the ACC.
Yeah, and I would also say watch out for Louisville. Louisville is a hungry team coming in. They always got athletic people that are always making big plays. That's all I see from Louisville is big plays. I don't see consistent drives. I just see big plays.
Yeah.
So that's a scary thing that we got to watch out for. If we're not looking at the number 1, number 2, I would say watch out for Louisville. If Louisville can take down some of these teams and they become undefeated in the ACC, then I'm sorry, Clemson, you're not getting back into this. But every game is a must-win game, and it's almost like doing like a prize picks or a fan duel.
Right.
Who's going to win which game, and can we still get in? The only way that we get in is if we win the rest of our games, and we got the top 4 people lose too.
Right. And where do you think, far as the ACC stands? I know, like you said before, you'd probably put the SEC or maybe the Big Ten on top, as far as the best conference. Is ACC sort of riding that third wheel, or what do you think?
It's really hard to say because I want to put them there. I want to put them in that position, but it's hard not to say Big 12 isn't in that position as the third spot, especially with Clemson losing out, and Clemson's usually one of the stronger reasons why people always say, ACC's maybe third.
Right.
But we do got Florida State, Miami. We do got Virginia. We have Georgia Tech this year. There's a potential that we may get Louisville in there that could be some rank. But the Big 12 is always a dominant force. It's always going to have people that you always got to look out for, that you're always worried about, that you always got to be in contention. In the ACC, if let's say everybody does lose those games in the conferences and it goes back and forth, then it can give you a potential like, man, these guys are not only winning outside the ACC, but they're also beating up each other in the ACC, which reminds you of a Big Ten and an SEC competition. Big 12 to me, it's hard because those teams are usually really run dependent, or they're just slashing you all across the field with different routes, with different, like you said before with the Bears, with gadget plays, making those big-time plays. I mean, if Kansas State with Avery Jackson can just keep it together and not lose these close games, they're dangerous too. I mean, the Big 12 is an exciting ball, and it's upsetting that Colorado is 0-2 in that conference. But
yeah, I thought they were going to win that game against BYU. For them to lose that, yeah, that's a heartbreaker. I mean, they're 0-2 now in the conference.
Yeah, and it's not. Granted, they could have the same situation as Clemson in them, but it's
Yeah.
harder to see that go down, especially with that quarterback room when you got Stab, or I think it's Stab or Staub. You got Caden Slater, and you also got that Juju Watkins, or not Juju Watkins. You got Juju back there, who's kind of in a situation like, do we play him? Do we not? Do we hold him? Do we
Right,
redshirt
right,
him? Do we keep him so he has an extra year? Is he going to leave? Is he going to transfer? What are
right.
we going to do with this guy?
That's true. Yeah, you're right. I mean, with the Big 12, I mean, that is a great conference there. Yeah, I don't know. I would probably say ACC is probably fourth. Yeah, you'd have to go with the Big 12. I mean, they got Iowa State, Arizona, BYU. I mean, they're playing great ball right now. Texas Tech,
Yeah.
I mean, they're ranked 11 right now. So, yeah, I would say ACC is probably in fourth right now as far as the top conferences. And I guess the other thing I wanted to ask was, I don't know if this is true or not, but did you hear something about maybe the ACC schedule coming up next year, maybe going to like 9 conference games or something like that? Have you heard something similar like that?
I heard some rumors about that. I'm not exactly sure if that's more, a rumor of a rumor or playing telephone or any of those type
Right.
of things. But it's more of like, yeah, because, I mean, I just listed off, what, 8 games of Clemson for the ACC?
Hmm. Right.
But we need to make sure that that 9 games does come down to the wire, especially when our teams are getting much better. With the Big Ten, I mean, they need all those games. They need all those times
That's
because
true.
with Penn State, even though they lost this last weekend, there's still a chance for them to get in the playoffs and play a top team like Ohio State or play another top team like Indiana. I mean, Indiana has to go against. I couldn't even remember who they're playing this week, but they're playing against a big team coming up this week. I mean, Ohio State's will play Minnesota. We got literally some big time games coming up, and you just kind of need to have those division or those conference games to really decide these late playoff stints. When it's like you got the Big 12, you got the ACC, you got those people who are already guaranteed grandfathered in. But it's like, who do we really bring in? Do we bring in another Big 10 school to compete with these SEC schools that are coming in, or does ACC deserve 2 people or not?
Right. Right. Yeah. And speaking of, like you said, Indiana, they're going up against Oregon.
I mean, just right there,
I
just
mean,
right
number
there.
2 versus 8. You know.
And that shifts the whole. I mean, this is probably the most moves I've seen in the AP poll in a long time. Where
Yes.
it's not stagnant. It's constantly maneuvering. People that are falling out, coming in. This is why I'm saying that Clemson and the ACC, they have a chance to get a couple people into the playoffs. But right now, I'm really hoping it's going to be Miami and Clemson. But we just need to see some teams lose this week.
Yeah, that's true. And I think when I look at the ACC, I think it's been probably one of the most exciting conferences. Like the Syracuse game, even though Syracuse beat Clemson, but you wasn't expecting a competitive game like that.
Oh no.
Then you have Wake Forest, Georgia Tech. You wasn't expecting this.
Or Virginia and
Oh.
Florida State.
Yeah. I mean, this has been like exciting football in the ACC.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen in this conference.
Yeah, and especially after we watched that first take episode with Stephen A. and Jeff Saturday, and I don't remember the other 2 guys' names. Them saying, the ACC's weak. Dabo having all those ACC
yeah.
championships, that makes him. You're winning in a weak conference. Well, I'm like, this conference ain't weak no more, buddy. It's any given Saturday right now for the ACC. You never know who's going to pop off. You never know what could happen. North Carolina should be a win. It should be a win. They got beat up last week, and this one should definitely be a win.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a good game. Belichick, Debo, Dabo. That's going to be a good game. So, oh no, I guess with that, the big picture for the ACC, it's no longer basically a two-team show anymore.
Yeah.
Miami is elite right now, but who knows after this week? We'll see what happens. And I think we're seeing a lot more teams rise up who used to be like those mid-tier sort of teams. You got your Georgia Tech, Louisville, Virginia, and then also you mentioned Virginia Tech. I mean, so it's very exciting to be in the ACC this year.
Yeah, everybody's fighting to get in.
Yes. So we'll also keep you guys posted about this thing, about this 9-conference game. We'll look into that a little bit more for next week, and we'll definitely come back into to give us a rundown of ACC next week. But for this week, that was Tony and Tony, All Things Podcast, Pull-Up Edition.
I still rep it even when we lose. I still rep it. I ain't no fake fan.
We'll see what happens this week, Clemson.
And then I might take this off.
Miami, I'm going to rep. I'm going to pull out my pullover next week. I hope. No, I will.
Let's go Tigers, baby.
All
Let's
right. Peace.
Pull up. Hey, this is the pull up show. We still got the key in the dough.